What it is, guys, it is your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back at you with more Dokkan Battle. Now, today we're talking about World Tournament teams, because the one question I always get from people, and I get this question a lot, is, oh, how do you build a World Tournament team? Help me build a World Tournament team. I get so much of that in the lead up to the World Tournament, that I think it's kind of one of those misunderstood team-building aspects. In fact, in my Discord, we have a whole section set aside for that. So, it's one of the big things that I do whenever I'm working on like Dokkan Battle, but one of my big things I do is I always work towards the World Tournament, because the World Tournament is one of my favorite things to run in the game. Probably because I'm one of those people that never has time to run it because of my personal life, but I really do enjoy it. Even though it is a bit of a grind, it still is one of those fun things to just show you could build an amazing team and wreck the crap out of people. It's so much fun. Anyway, I digress. My Sadims aside, let's talk about the team that I've built and what you could do for teams in your World Tournament. So, we'll start off with, I'm going to skip the leader for now. We'll talk about leaders here in a minute. I'm going to talk about units. I'm going to talk about my units and then some other potential units that you can have for the World Tournament on your end. Okay? And we'll start off with the biggest bad that there is for the World Tournament, end of story. And the reason I run him as a support unit, LR Broly. There's no mistaking this guy. This guy is, without question, without doubt, the best unit for the World Tournament still to this day. No one can touch him. And the reason I say no one can touch him is because his AoE is 12 key. Unlike some of these other units we'll talk about, his AoE is 12 to 17 key. It's super easy to get off. And because of his passive too, let's go ahead and go in here. His passive performs a second super attack. Yes. Performs a second super attack. Launch a second super attack. So, that means even if you mess up, you get the 18 key, which is a single target attack. Very strong single target attack, mind you, but a single target attack. Then you can go in with the AoE and pretty much wipe out the rest of the units. Now, that strategy will not work at 30 times. Once you hit 30 times, and once you really get down to the hard levels, that's no longer going to be a viable option. You want the double 12 key super attack each and every time. But because the double super attacks, he is still unquestionably the king, the champion of the World Tournament. No questions asked. No one can touch him. Now, you pair him with a good category lead, 30 times will absolutely be a breeze. Okay? Total breeze. Now, second to him, I would easily say, okay, well, third, but we'll talk about second. We'll talk about second in a moment. Oh, and the other thing I do want to mention, this is actually really, really, really important, because we just got a notification last night that the story event for the Dragon Ball movie is coming. Know that the physical TUR Broly that we're getting, probably about, if I had to guess, about 2 weeks after that story drops. And if you want to know when the story event is going to happen, I'm going to guess that the end of the World Tournament will be maintenance again. So when right before that maintenance kicks off, they'll end the tournament, or the tournament will abruptly end with the maintenance, and then after the maintenance, we'll get the story event. That's my assumption. So, that story event triggers nothing really, but about 2 weeks after that story event, well, I should take that. The story event's really important. We'll talk about the story event later. Anyway, I digress. The point is, the story event will eventually usher in the new Gogeta and Broly dual Dokkan banners, which will bring a new AoE, and that is the physical Broly that comes from the movie. Now, why do I bring all this up? Well, because people yell at me all the time because of this right here. That little bad boy right there. That dupe that I put into Broly, most people like to run the TUR. If they pull a second Broly, they run the TUR next to him because it activates every single one of these links. The only link that is not activated by him is Legendary Power. But the physical Broly that's coming out is almost identical to that TUR Broly. Except he's named the same as that TUR Broly. He's also named Super Saiyan Broly. So, you can't run the two of them together. But because this is Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, you can run the two of them together. So that physical Broly replaces the other Broly. So if you have those other guys, consider throwing your dupes into this guy. Just throwing that out there. So that's another really viable AoE. We'll talk about him when he drops. He's not really important for this tournament, but he'll be insanely important for the next tournament, and that's why I'm saving so many stones. I'll hope to have about 1,000 stones to drop on that banner when it comes, so we'll talk about that. I digress. Number 3, we'll talk about number 2 after this. Number 3 is Maha Vegeta without question or doubt. Okay? Maha Vegeta is a great unit for this banner. I mean, for this tournament. Really great unit. The only downside of Maha Vegeta is he's very item heavy. Very expensive to run. Okay? And the reason I say that is because his super attack, the Mega Colossal Damage, is his 12 key. The 18 key, the one that's actually the AoE, the Colossal Damage AoE, is his 18 key. And even if you throw a lot of double attack at him, don't expect that to ever go off. If you throw double attack into this guy, he is never, ever, 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 ever going to just magically get the 18 key if you throw the 12 key at him. Throw the 12 key super attack at him. It's just, there's no chance. Because what the game does is the game is always going to try to get off the cheapest super attack that it can. So, like with Cell here, for example, the Strength Cell. Strength Cell's AoE attack is the 11 key. We'll talk about that in a moment. But if you get off the 11 key and you put double attack at him, his 9 key super is going to be the second super he gets. It's just a thing. It's just the way the game works. So, you've got to run a lot of orb changers, and you've got to deliberately get the 18 key off with this guy. There's no other way. Now, that does mean you're going to be dropping orb changers. You're going to be dropping Tree of Might fruit. You're dropping all kinds of stuff to make this guy work. Now, the big benefit to this guy over Broly is Broly kills his passive, or kills his passive. His passive kills his defense. Once he gets a super attack, this defense goes down to next to nothing. Okay. Now, it's a little better on a category team, but being that you only have one category lead on this, we'll talk about that in a moment. Being that you'll only have one category leader, it's not going to get a whole lot better. He's not going to take a lot of damage. This guy, on the other hand, can always tank a crap ton of damage. And a lot of people run AGLs to try to offset the Broly damage. So, this guy can tank some hits. But, he's very expensive to run. Now, between these two is LR Cell. Now, I do not have LR Cell. LR Cell is a physical extreme type unit. It's the Cell that's got all the Cell Juniors around him. This guy's Colossal Damage. His 12 key is also an AoE. It's his energy field attack. It's a very heavy and effective attack. The only reason I'd put him below Broly is because his damage, or his attack, it only happens one time. Unless you have dupes and you put, multi-attack into him, it only happens once. Broly hits twice. Cell hits once at 12 key. This guy hits once at 18 key. So it's like 1, and then 2, and then 3. In my opinion. That's just my ranking for those guys. That said, Cell is a great unit. And Cell works on the Android Saga. He works on Transformation. He works on Time Travelers. And he works on the Combination. He does not work on Resurrected Warriors. Which I always kind of thought he did. But I think it's only, for the cells that kind of like super perfect cells that kind of come back after he blows himself to absolute shit. So, which is once again another weird anomaly with him, but we'll talk about that. So, good unit, but sadly he wouldn't fit on this team even if I had him, which sucks. But it's a thing. It's a thing. These two guys, on the other hand, they work on Resurrected Warriors, and they work on Pure Saiyans. We'll talk about that in a moment too. Okay? I'm getting a little long in the tooth, but I generally do, so let's just move on. Strength Boo. Now, Strength Boo we talked about the other day. We did some damage testing with him. He's a very good unit. He's a unit a lot of people probably have. He's been around for a long time. I don't think he's been on one of the Redstones, though. I don't think he has. I might be wrong on that. But I digress. Good unit. he'll do a lot of damage. Now, let's say you do not have LR Broly. Well, I'm going to go over here to the other team that I've got that I was going to create for you guys. And we're talking about one other option before we come back to Cell. Okay? So, we're over here. We're building a team. You do not have LR Broly. Well, that's okay. If you have the Easy A Broly, this guy right here, he is just as good. Oop, let's go back. He is just as good. Now, this guy, I think I've got... How many dupes do I have in him? 2 dupes? Okay. I've tried a Rainbow Star version of him. Rainbow Star version of him will out-hit the first super attack of... in fact, it'll almost mimic the 18 key from Maha Vegeta. It's a damn good super attack. It's an AoE, and because he comes from the Redstones, I would argue all day and all night, this guy's completely free to play now, guys. LR Broly, or I'm sorry, not LR Broly, Easy A Broly. Think brain. Easy A Broly's completely free to play, in my opinion. In my opinion, if you don't count the Redstones as free to play, then you are just hilarious. You were just making a mockery of yourself. So another great unit, and we'll throw him on this team. We'll build a free to play team for the World Tournament here. Just a few minutes. But I digress. Let's go back over here and talk about another AoE that I've got on this team. Now, this guy is a little questionable. Okay? Strength Cell. Now, we already talked about him a little bit. Strength Cell has a couple different super attacks. The main thing is his 11 key super attack is his self-destruct thing. It's mass damage to all enemies, raises attack and defense. Which raises attack and defense is awesome. So, you can almost get his off first, and then go and hit him with like Broly or Maha Vegeta or who else ever you've got. So he's a great, like, if you'll notice, one of the big things that I've done is my team is comprised of almost all AoEs. I've got 4 AoEs. I'll be running a Broly friend whenever I'm running, so I've got 5 for 7 units total. Okay? And the reason I've done that is because on the preliminary side of things, you want to do as much damage as possible at all times. Okay? So, I keep Broly and Maha Vegeta on a rotation. I keep Majin Buu and Strength Cell on a rotation. They're not going to link up as well, but they link up okay. Then, you'll notice that I also run a support unit. Now, I am running the Turles. He doesn't work on this team. He doesn't link up worth a damn. His biggest thing is his passive. Okay? All allies, key +3, attack and defense 40%. Okay? Now, if you don't have Turles, you can run strength rows, AGL rows, or even physical black if you're really looking for, you know, just boosts. He doesn't have a crazy attack boost, but he does have 3 key, which is going to come in very, very, very handy. So, those are your options. Basically, you want to run as many AoEs as possible with at least 1 support unit. Okay? Because when the support guy comes in, you're going to love life. Now, I used to run 2 support units, and the only reason I don't now is because there's a lot of situations I come into where I'll get my 3 units, my leader, and my 2 supports, and I'll be like, what do I do now? I've got to Ghost Usher out of the situation. It's not the worst thing in the world, by a long shot. Not the worst thing in the world by anyone's definition. But it's not preferable, so I'm just going to, you know, offset that and avoid that this time around. Now, I did not talk about all of the AoEs in the game, and we'll talk about one other here, actually right now. We'll go over here to our free-to-play team that we're building, and we'll talk about, let me go ahead and do Int Extreme, and I'm actually going to go by activation. Okay? So, the free-to-play Int Raddatz. This guy's event is on right now. If you do not have this dude, you will want him. Because I've showcased him time and time and time again. I do it every tournament he's been around. I've been talking about it since before he arrived on Global. This is a dude who is absolutely awesome. And he hits really hard with a good category leader. Now, if you don't lead him very well, he's going to suck. Okay? I don't run him on my Resurrected Warriors anymore because he just does laughable damage. But Pure Saiyans, he'll do an awesome job. An absolutely awesome job. And if you noticed, Pure Saiyans, he will also work with LR Broly and Maha Vegeta. There's a really, really, really great Pure Saiyans team you can run for the World Tournament that will do a lot of damage. So I heavily recommend it. Heavily recommend it. I digress. Good unit, completely free to play. In fact, if we just go down here to the events, go to story mode, and right down here, low class warrior, right? It's, yeah, he's a free to play AoE. You'd be a fool not to farm him up if you haven't already. So go do. Okay. There is also, there's a physical Xenotrunks. I don't like him. Not a big fan of him at all. I was after him for a long time, but he doesn't really have any good teams for the tournament. I guess if you're really hard up, I think there's a better option on that. We'll talk about that towards the end of the video. There is a hero team option that you could run that's going to do really well in the tournament, but you know, you just got to pay attention. So, him aside, there's also the Tech Maha Vegeta. Okay? Tech Maha Vegeta is also another unit that I consider free to play because he comes on the Redstone now. I believe he comes on the Redstone. God, I'd have to double verify that, but I'm pretty sure they added him to the last Redstone. So let's go ahead and go to Tech and snag him. Now, this guy is not going to hit very well, but follow me here. He works on Resurrected Warriors, Pure Saiyans, Majin Buu Saga, but so basically, I guess that's another valid point. You have this dude. You have the strength, Majin Buu, the one that just awakened. That's an AoE unit. The one that's, hold on, I have him over here. This dude right here. And you've got the physical Vegito. You've got another possible team right there, and got some good options for that team too. So there you go. Physical Vegito's a great tank. He can run with a few things, and you could also run the physical Trunks of that team. Now, physical Trunks is not going to do very well at all. Just real talk. But options, guys. We're leaving our options open. Okay? So that's 3 free-to-play units for your World Tournament team. And you notice I do have mine Rainbow Starred. He does a crazy amount of damage at that with a good category leader. What he would do with this leader, I really don't know. We'll have to go test it out. Okay? So these two guys come from the Redstones. So you got options. Raddatz is completely free to play. He's farmable absolutely right now. So there's that as well. Okay? And we have not talked about this leader. Now, he is not an AoE. But follow me. Okay? Extreme class, key +3, attack and defense, 70%. So he's an old school meta leader, right? So we have to check our expectations already. There's absolutely no way you're going to be taken on 30 times with this. 20 times, though, you could rock. 20 times would probably not be a problem. Real talk. So, in fact, what I'll do is I'll build this team out, and then we'll go test it. We'll see what happens, okay? And what's really cool is you can still run Broly on this team because he's an extreme type, obviously. So when we get into the game, you could have the LR Broly friend and run all these units and still get crazy results from this team, right? So we'll try that out here in a minute. Okay. I believe Strength of Raleigh is another one. Chow Man's another one, but those are banners that have been around for a very, very long time, so I wouldn't worry about them. And Chow Man's laughable. Chow Man's hilarious. Yeah. And Arale doesn't have a team. So while Arale is a good mass damage unit, she does not have a team. She's completely irrelevant anymore. And even on a mono team, or I'm sorry, not a mono, yeah, on a mono strength team or on a mono. I mean, the thing is, you could run around a mono strength team. What leader are you going to use? Because all your leads now, she's a super type, and all the other ones are extreme. So I guess maybe you could. Well, what's she going to get? Like a 50% boost? It's going to be laughable. Not worth. Now, if you could run a Broly lead and run her, and then run Strength Cell and Strength Majin Buu, but you follow me here? It's not really... I just don't really consider her viable for the tournament anymore. I hate to say it, I really want her. I wish I had her. I was after her a long time ago, but never... that banner probably will never come back. So, it's not something to really worry about. So that's pretty much all the LRs. I'll just double check here. Or, I'm sorry, all the LRs. All the AoEs. We talked about LR Cell, LR Maha Vegeta, LR Broly, the new Broly coming, EZA Broly, Strength Cell, Strength Majin Buu. We talked a little bit about Arale and Xeno Trunks. Tech, Maha Vegeta, that's 10 already right there. Free-to-play Int Cell, Chow Man, who's hilarious, and then, of course, some of the old TURs and SSR versions of the other units. So, yeah. So that's what I do. The first thing I do is I go look for a good AoE or a couple of them that I can run. So we've got building a free-to-play team. Redstone, farmable, battlefield. Already off to a great start. Now, because we're dealing with extreme types, now what we're going to need is we are going to need an extreme type that's a good support unit. Okay? We've got 3 AoEs. Technically, we've got 4. 2 good supports are going to really bring this team together. Okay? Now, who would be a good support on this team? That's the next big question. For me, let's see, you could always run someone like Strength or even AGL Rose. Now, if you have Strength Rose, he might be a better leader for you. I'm going to be real. But because we're talking just in free-to-play terms, I'm going to take him out of the equation and say we're not going to be able to run him. But he's a great support unit if you have him. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to say, let's run this guy, Demon King Piccolo. Now, this guy comes from the DB Saga tickets. You may or may not have him, but he is completely free to play because he's a ticket unit only. You notice mine has a dupe in him, but I have no orbs in him. I really don't have any super attack in him. We're not using him for that. We're using him for his passive here. Extreme class allies, key plus 3 attack, 25%. Okay? So this guy, that is our first friend passive. Okay, we need one more that gives us a decent amount of boost. I saw the strength one. I don't think he does the same thing, though. I don't remember specifically. Medium chance to stun the attacked enemies. All enemies attack and defense minus 20%. That's actually not bad, but not quite what we're looking for. Not quite what we're looking for. Let's see. These are all the all enemies attack minus 12%. Not quite what we're looking for either. So, all right. There's a good option. This guy right here. Okay. Another unit that came from the stones. Not a bad unit at all, but a really great tank. So reduces damage received by 80% when HP is 50% or above. There is the tech one that's a little bit better, but we're just going to run him for now. Now, preferably... Actually, you know what? There's got to be a better unit here that's completely free to play that gives us some good... One of these guys does, don't they? I'm going to get slaughtered in the comment section for not remembering. But one of the Ginyu Force, I swear, does. Let's see. No, his is... Goldo is the stunner. Attack enemy attack minus 20%. He's the speedster. Yeah, and he does nuking. Let's see. Here's a great option. We'll do that. Okay. I forgot entirely about this, and this guy is one of your biggest assets. One of your absolute top assets on a free-to-play World Tournament team. Okay? Jace. This guy will bring you completely out of harm's way, and you want to really use this guy to the best of your abilities. What this guy does, if you're not familiar with this, because we talked about this a while back when he first came, and I think he kind of lost interest in him. And I even forgot he does that. Extreme class allies keep +2 attack 20%. Completely forgot he had that ability, but biggest thing with him, foresees enemies super attack. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So we'll run him on our team for absolute certain. So we got a 20%, 25%. Okay. He comes from the DB Saga tickets. He comes from the event that's going to be running. Actually, it's running today, I believe it is, because today's Thursday. Yeah. So let's jump out here one more time. This is a bit of a long video, guys, but hang with me here, because we're talking a lot of theory and how to really take advantage for the World Tournament. Is he not? There it is. I keep bumping over it. Completely farmable from this event if you do not have him. Why do you not have him? Because he'll foresee... even if you don't have the Ginyu Force, this guy is a free scouter. He foresees every super attack when he's on rotation. So, we just made a completely free-to-play World Tournament team that I firmly believe will wreck. If not 20 times, at least 10 times. I want to say 20 times shouldn't be a problem with this team. Okay? Free-to-play 70% leader. Redstone asset. Farmable asset. Another redstone asset. Ticket asset from the World Tournament tickets. And farmable asset. So, very viable free-to-play team. And we're going to run an LR Broly friend. Let's go ahead. Jump in here. And then I'll talk briefly while we're doing this. Best way to test these units is to go down here to the Raddatz event. I believe it's the third one. I think it's the third one. Yes. Third one. Yeah. This is the best place to test out your World Tournament team. I'm going to go ahead and grab... Hey! We want an LR Broly, though. Just for the sake of silliness. LR Broly friend. Perfect. Right there. So, let's go back over here. Let's grab... And we're not worried about boosting the team. We're not worried about that. We're not worried about how to win this. We're worried about making it through this fight with as much AoE damage as possible. Okay? And really testing this team out. Okay? So, the other thing we're going to do here is we're going to grab for the World Tournament Senzu Bean, that, and then probably, you know what, I'll get rid of him. We're going to grab a couple of orb changers. We'll grab a strength orb changer, and yeah, blue spheres. We'll do that. Just because you never know. Sometimes you have to change two spheres. The best part is Raddatz will never have a problem getting off a super attack, but sometimes you get like really caught up in bad situations. So let's go test this team out. Now, as I promised, I said I was going to talk about a team that you could build that wouldn't necessarily need all this crazy AoE nonsense. If you don't have any AoE units at all, which I've just shown you here, why the hell do you not? Or you just can't build the team for whatever reason, you don't have the units, and you can't get the units in time. Here's an option for you guys, all right? So, right off the bat here, we have a problem, and I can solve it really easily. So I've got Broly. Got that. That is a lot of key for Broly. Yep. See, he's getting his U Super. So while he's getting his U Super, that's okay. I've got Tech Vegeta to follow up, and we'll be fine. All right. I guess I could have done it without getting his super attack, but whatever. You get the concept. All right. So the other option, you don't have any AoEs at all. None whatsoever. Okay? What you want to do, you want to focus on getting out the most attacks possible. Just that's your interest. Okay? To do so, there are a lot of hero units that do multiple attack. In fact, the Extreme Cooler here, he'll do it too. I just not crazy interested in doing it with him, but we could showcase him whenever he gets back on rotation. All right, perfect. So here's Raddatz. You'll notice Raddatz is going to get super attacked. So Jace is showing right here. This Cyberman is going to super attack, but Raddatz has got him, and Raddatz has got enough ki. We have no worries in this world at all. So there we go. And he's got 20% on top of the 70% boost. Let's see what kind of damage he does. And 600k. Now, here's this damage that you're seeing right now is not... That's not impressive damage. That's not going to hold you. But with the other unit there, he'd been fine. No worries at all. I will say, if you have Tech Maha Vegeta on that rotation with him, it's the best solution. But, you know, he's on rotation with Broly right now. He's doing this thing. All right. So I digress. Talking about getting off super attacks, or getting off as many attacks as possible, not necessarily super attacks. So there are some of the Vegetos. Vegito Blue will get off 3 attacks, sometimes 4 if you have dupes in them. That's the Tech Vegito Blue. The Physical Vegito Blue will get off 2 to 3 attacks and has a very good chance of each one becoming a super attack, whereas Tech Vegito Blue, it's a much lower chance. So you've got basically the potential right there. You can't run the 2 of them together, but you got the potential right there. Let's just say for 3 hits, because Physical Vegito Blue's been around for a long time. A lot of people have dupes in him. I'm just going to go ahead and say right now, for the people that are watching, most people will probably have, you know, that guy and have dupes in him. I'm going to say 3 hits each, roughly, give or take. Again, it's just an approximation. So there's already a couple of very good options right there for you of units that get off multiple attacks. It is not going to be fun because if you don't target people right, like with this one, I don't care who he's hitting. He's hitting literally everybody simultaneously. Just kill, 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 kill. With that one, you've got to target people properly, you've got to plan, and you've got to strategize. I don't like that one as much. The nice part about it, now the best part about that is most everybody is running villain-type units. So if you go that strategy, you are absolutely going to be at a huge advantage because you're going to be going up against mostly people that are villain types and are at a natural disadvantage to you. Remember, hero units have a slight advantage over villain units, where villain units have a slight advantage over hero units. Their attacks take a hair more damage. It's, you know, pay attention to how the easy ace work. It's basically the same thing. So you've got a few of those situations right there. Now here's the interesting one. I would never do this in the tournament, but Broly is going to get attacked. A couple of times, in fact. But that's okay. That is okay. Because, A, I know they're not going to hurt him as much. B, they're not super attacking. Which I know because I got Jace on the team. Yeah. So, for hero units, you will have a little bit of a benefit from that. Okay, perfect example of what I was talking about before. You get off the 18 key, then you get off the AoE. This is why I say he's the tournament killer. He's just a beast. An absolute beast. Alright, so I keep jumping back and forth topics here, because running super types is really not my cup of tea in the World Tournament. It really is not, guys. I just don't like doing it, because I feel really limited. Really limited. But I know there's people out there that simply don't have the units. So I'm trying to open up every option you have for you. So when you're thinking about this, number one, first of all, think about what unit do I have that can do the most amount of damage to the most number of units. So like with Raddatz here, he can do AoE attacks all across the board. Physical Vegito Blue, on the other hand, can do 3 to 4 attacks depending upon how many dupes you have in him and how much double attack he's got. So if he can do 4 attacks, and you can rely on those at a lower level, by all means, that's great. But be realistic. Don't jump into 30 times expecting that to really hold its own. I just messed up there pretty bad. That's all right. I'm not worried about it. Oof. Oof. What was this thing? Yeah. So, number one, think about what unit is going to do the most damage. See, like here's Cooler doing his 3 attacks. Just going to do a lot of damage. That's actually a really good example of what I was talking about. Now, while it wasn't effective to kill them all, it was effective enough to get 3 of them out of the way. So, you've got quite a few units in the game that could do that. Hell, if you really wanted to, you could run a Mass Saiyan lead, take on 10 times. Because remember, a string of wins is way better than 1 win, loss, 2 wins, loss, 8 wins, loss. If you can get a string of wins, that will bode way better for you in the long run of things. So, play the game smart and be aware of those situations. That's really the best advice that I can give you in this regard. Alright, so our AoE team here is just absolutely wrecking face. Hilariously good. The only thing that sucks is unfortunately, our EZA Broly will never link up to LR Broly. Otherwise, I'd love to put them on a rotation together. But that's the thing. So you get an idea. There's a completely free-to-play AoE team for you to use. And if you want a super team, I mean, Potara team's a great option, okay? Because like I said, the biggest problem you're going to have with the Potara team, well, okay. The thing with the Potara team, having all their, let's go ahead and build a Potara team real quick that we'd use for the World Tournament. Okay, we'll change all, remove all. In fact, what I'll do, I'm trying to think the best way to do this. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do a Tech Vegito Blue team. Okay? So I'm going to grab Tech Vegito Blue because he'll do 3 attacks reliably across the board. Okay? And we'll build a Rainbow team, Hero team, that you can use for the World Tournament to do great amounts of damage to the greatest number of people. And we'll try that one more time. And then I promise you, that'll be it. So, 1 unit here is already going to do 3 attacks. That's pretty sweet. Okay? Now, who else could we run on here? Alright, Super Vegito. This Super Vegito, the AGL Super Vegito, will fill an AGL slot. I don't think we have another AGL that's going to be better for that. And his tanking is second to none. So long as he doesn't get a super attack, we'll be exceptionally happy with the results he's going to provide. In that regard, it's very tempting because he's reliable when it comes to super attack tanking, but I don't know. Now these guys are great support unit for your super team because they're going to give an astonishing amount of ki and support for your super type units. So I highly recommend them. Who else do we have that would do a wide amount of damage to... Let's see. Let's just go through this team for a moment, okay? We have Bulma. Bulma's a great tank. She's completely free to play. I like her a lot, but I don't know if she's going to be a super attack or a super... a tournament ally for us. Okay? Ah! You know who'd be absolutely phenomenal? Rage Vegeta. Where's Rage Vegeta? Where's Rage Vegeta? In fact, I'll go by type now. Okay? STR Rage Vegeta. And I know people are going to be like, what is this hodgepodge crazy ass team you're putting together? Well, follow me. The biggest thing about Rage Vegeta here is if you drop below, I believe it's 30%. I don't remember specifically. See. Rage mode, when HP is 30% or below. So if you drop below 30%, he'll have one turn where he's doing 3 attacks and not taking any damage. That's going to be a huge asset to you. An enormous asset to you. So, we've got physical type, AGL. We need an int type. So what's an int unit that we have that will do a lot of damage across the board and will be quite viable for us. Now, I want to pick a more common unit, I think. Oh, you know who'd be great here? He's not a multi-attack. Well, I'm going to throw another... before I do an int, I'm going to throw another AGL on here. Okay? And I can't believe I looked this guy out. I passed this guy out. Evolution Vegeta. Evolution Vegeta will do attack plus 120% and defense 60%. Launches 2 additional attacks and defense 7% with each attack performed up to 70% if all full conditions are met. Now, his other 2 attacks don't generally turn into super attacks. But if he evolves, okay, his attack and defense are a little bit higher, launches 2 additional attacks and chance to perform a critical hit. So, if he evolves, you'll be very happy. Okay? We're going to throw him on this team. And because our tech unit requires an int, we've got to go find an int. So this team's going to produce a lot of damage across a wide field. Okay? And this is now another, you know, pay-to-play team, but this is another very viable team. Now, this is where it's going to get a little weird, because I need, let's go, super type. And who's a good superclass unit that we could throw on here? I don't want to do the LR because the LR is never going to transform. He's not terribly reliable in that regard. I would almost... we just need a good support unit, I think, at this point. Well, you know what? There's a free-to-play stunner here. Yeah, changes to key spheres, does a little bit of... I'm going to throw him on. So, call me crazy here. I'm going to throw him on this team. Okay? I'm going to throw him on this team. And the reason I'm going to do that is because he'll change orbs to rainbow orbs. He'll make it a lot easier for everyone else to get their attacks off. If he can absorb the rainbow orbs when they're left over, then he'll heal. Also, if he does damage, he has a chance to stun. And I put a lot of double attack into mine. It's extra damage. Okay? So we've got a 3 times hitter, a tank with retaliation. That's infinite hits, really, if you think about it. Well, up to in the tournament, realistically, maximum 3 hits. Just hope he doesn't eat a super. Drop a Baba item. A support unit that gives both key and damage. A unit that once we drop below 30% will then eat every single hit, that regardless what they give him, and then deal back crap tons of damage. Another 3-hitter, and an orb changer with stunning. A super type world tournament team. So this team is another team that I would be glad to take on the world tournament. And with this team, I bet you could take on 30 times. It might be a little hairy, you'd bring items, but a super type world tournament team. And I bet you this team, people would laugh at you. People think it would be hilarious. But they won't be laughing when they're getting, you know, taken to school. They're not going to think it's very funny at all. Avoid doing things like bringing the LRs. The LR Vegeta is not going to be viable because he's got to go 6 turns to transform, and he's never going to do that. If he does, you're messing up. You're messing up big time. And that's only going to be in the first round too. It's not going to be fun. I digress, apparently. So, those are things to think about. Who are going to be your hitters, and then consider your leader. In this case, our leader is our hitter. That's a very rare situation. Then think about who's going to be your supporters. So, hitters first, leader, supporter. That's going to tell you how to do this. So, let's go back to this team one more time. And this is a long video. Feel free to skip around. So, in this team, I said Broly's going to be number 1. Maha Vegeta is going to be number 2. What team do they fit on? Well, it's either going to be Pure Saiyans or Resurrected Warriors. Oh, but I've got these 2 guys as well that work really well in Resurrected Warriors. We'll do that. Otherwise, I could do a Pure Saiyans, and he'd work well in that. So, there are your options. Next World Tournament, I will be running Pure Saiyans because I'll have this guy, and I'll have Physical Broly, and then that's going to be 3 units, 4 units. That'll be no mess, no doubt. There'll be killers on that team. Then I could run. So I'd have him there, Physical there, Raddatz there, him there, and the Pure Saiyans leader up there, which is that Vegeta that does 3 hits. That team is going to be disgusting. Disgusting. So, these are how you should be thinking about all this stuff. I hope this helps, guys. It's a long video, but I'm very passionate about the World Tournament. I love the World Tournament. I know a lot of people aren't, but to me, it's a really exciting time to think about team dynamics, how to build a team, where to come up with it. You would never, in a million years, think to run this team right here. But I assure you, you run this team in the tournament, you're going to be kicking ass and taking names. It's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe not at 30 times, but definitely 20 times. So, someone run this team. Let me know what you think. I want to run the team. I'm going to let you know what I think. That's the video, guys. Like, subscribe. Hope this helps you out. If this legitimately did help you out, let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to get feedback on this kind of tutorial, because doing more tutorials like this is what I really love to do, because I apparently just like to hear myself talk. I don't fucking know. Follow my Birdman, hit me up a booker, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will lay your asses out in the tournament, because I am definitely coming for you. You in particular. You right there. Don't you smirk. I done see. Look, I'm going to get you.